What's going on, YouTube? It's Crazy Gunner here, and today I had probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my life, not to mention that it was in my Spanish class, because you know, everything has to happen in that class, and the girl that I like saw it, so that was pretty not good. And what happened was, I was sitting in the Spanish class, minding my own business, when this girl behind me asks for me, and I'm like, oh, a woman wants to talk to me? What a surprise. And so I turn around. Unfortunately, I looked the other way, trying to be all cool and such. And so I looked the other way, kind of leaning in a weird position on my desk. My desk starts to tip in the air, and I start to fall, and the desk starts falling over. And so at this point, I've got my hands in the air, and I'm trying to grab something. Like, you know how if you're tipping on your chair and you start to fall backwards, you throw your hands up in the air and you try to grab something to maybe save your life? And at the same time that all of this stuff is happening, I'm also having, you know, the slow motion, moment. And while all of that is happening, I managed to smack the girl sitting next to me in the face with my hand, my outstretched arms grabbing for help. I just smack her across the face. I don't even grab her or anything to support myself. Then I proceed to fall on the ground. My desk knocks over another desk, does a little domino effect, and I then proceed to be stuck under the fallen desks, because you guys know how desks can kind of lock legs somehow with other desks. Well, somehow that happened. They link chains or whatever, and I got stuck under there for a while. So under all this struggling, everybody is laughing at me at this point. And the worst thing, of all the bad things that happened, the absolute worst thing, my teacher screams as I'm doing this. She just freaks out. She's like, "Oh my God, Josh, are you okay?" And of course, I'm sitting there struggling to get out, going, "Yeah, of course I'm okay. God, I just fell out of my desk." And now, because my teacher made fun of me, everybody else in the class is like, "Oh, let's make fun of Crazy Gunner because the teacher's doing it, so it must be okay." So they're like, "Oh, are you okay? Do you need to go to the nurse? Are you gonna need a boo-boo? You gonna need me to kiss that?" I'm like, "Shut up." And then, the bitch teacher, yes, if you guys remember, this is the one who I made cry. She joins in the making fun of me. She's like, "Oh, did you hurt yourself? You're being a big tough guy not saying it." And you know, I was raging really hard. I was really pissed off at this moment, also very embarrassed, and I was blushing. I don't like to say that. That sounded kind of gay, actually. But I was, so yeah, I was blushing, and you know, there's nothing you can really say to defend yourself when your teacher is making fun of you, and when it's when you fell out of your desk, because, you know, the fall looked like it may have hurt, and then on the other hand, it's not that much of a pain to really complain about. Yet, you can still be made fun of for trying to be all tough, rough, and tumble. And that's what they were doing. They were taking advantage of that. So, yeah, it was pretty terrible. And mind you guys, if you didn't know, this is also the class where the girl I like is inside, and she was laughing at me as well, and also said that I looked like a dumbass, which, I'm not gonna lie, I looked pretty frackin' dumb. So yeah, that's the end of that. Pretty embarrassing, I would say myself. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking for a girl update, which I don't think you caught what I said in one of my other videos, which was, the girl got really pissed off at me, she yelled at me, so I was going to stay away from her, not really push onto her for a while, let things kind of cool down so I could kind of almost get a fresh start. I don't know if you guys actually paid attention when I said that, but that's what's going on right now. However, I do have a story for you guys, because I was talking to her at one point after that. So a few days ago, I was sitting with her at lunch, and if you guys didn't know, this girl likes to talk about sexual things, and she was talking to me about her sexual frustrations, which, to be honest, I couldn't care less about how she wants to just bone every guy in Hollywood. I mean, what girl doesn't? And I think they said that backwards, actually. It made it sound like she had a penis, which, mind you guys, she does not. She has a beautiful vagina and a boobies, so, you know. Yeah, I'm down with that. So after she finished telling me about a bunch of stuff I didn't care about, she asked me about my sexual frustrations. And my first question was, what does that mean? Because girls have a bunch of intricate ways of saying who you want to bone. And so I was like, pfft, Scarlett Johansson, of course. Man, she is one smoking piece of booty. And she replied to my utmost surprise, "Oh yeah, I would fuck her brains out." And I was like, what? And then I immediately started taking the proper precautions to hide the boner that I knew I was about to have in approximately 3 seconds, because that alone was probably one of the hottest things I had ever heard a girl say, not to mention that this girl is pretty smokin' as well, and I was like, hey, we could have a threesome. And after the words slipped out of my mouth, I kind of realized what I had just said, because we mentally aren't really on the same terms right now. I want to be with her, she does not necessarily see me in the same exact exact way, so that was probably a very awkward moment, and not probably, it definitely was a very awkward moment. And so yeah, that piled on with the last thing I said to her. Things are probably going downhill, and I might just have to drop the whole thing on a total, even though I know you guys love to hear about what I'm talking about, but the gameplay is wrapping up now, and I'd just like to take a second and thank you guys for 3K subs. I know I'm at about 290, 80, but that's not a word. Well, you guys know what I'm talking about, but anyways, I'd like to thank you because I'll probably get those subs before I can make another video to thank you guys, so thank you so much. Of course, I couldn't be here without you, and I'll see y'all later. Peace out.